Excuse me. My thing overlay thingamajigger is not working. I don't know why. I have to restart, but that thing takes 45 minutes to do that. It's just forever to let you know one thing. Oh, 2? What? What? You got fucking... Only because he got taken out by some fucking tard. Ooh. So what have you settled
I'm still using that VRS medium downforce one with the changes. I've gone down another couple.
Yeah, just the one quick. I have no idea what VRS is.
I think it's 4 or 5.
There, if I get on the throttle any more than that, it starts pushing. I need to take more through there.
Pure skill.
That's right. Oh, that's enough for fuck's sake.
Yeah, but it's your outlet, it's fine.
No, it still counts the tally.
I got some replies on that forum post about the lot. One of them was from a staff member who seems to be in charge of the GT3s. Because he posted in a couple of the other threads about the new series. And he pretty much said, like, we think there's no issue with the bot, but he's like, we're continually monitoring and trying to make sure that is in fact the case.
Why is everybody running Audis?
Yeah, I don't know. There's basically like pointing at a few other people like, oh, it's because all the fast people run the Audis, so all the people winning are in Audis. But yeah, there's no explanation as to why are all the fast people running Audis. If you're a 6, 7, 8K driver, you can't afford to be picking the car. You've got to be competitive. I mean, they'd still definitely be at the front no matter what car they're in, but they wouldn't necessarily be able to be, have that final couple tenths that they need to.
Winning a race. The top split.
I hate when it's like, it's right on the line, but the rear end of the car steps out just a bit, and that's just enough to move the center of the car over the line. If the car didn't slide forward in the middle of the straight.
Down that line before and lost. expensive. I always struggle with braking in the GT3s,
Yeah.
fighting the ABS.
I'm not sure how other people brake so much better. Like, in the race I was doing, the one where I punted the BMW guy, like everyone else is braking what felt like 1 or 2 car lengths later than me and pulling it up. But I'm like, I cannot get any more braking out of it than that. Any harder and I'm just smashing the ABS thing. Any less and I'm just not going to be braking as hard. I don't know how much of it's the, a little bit of latency, making it seem like they're braking later, or I don't know, but I had an Audi make a pass on me from so far back that I thought like, oh yeah, this guy's moving forward, and then I hit the brakes and he just like came flying up the side of me, but still made the corner. Like, it's crazy.
When you figure it out, can you let me know? GT fucking E, you brake too much, it locks a brake. Lift. I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah. It's the same with the Formula cars, I feel like. Because no ABS, it's like how close can you get without locking? And it's all about who can sort of, just get to that last little bit. And it feels more intuitive. I feel like I know that I'm like not getting everything out of the brakes, but I'm not consistent enough to go any closer.
And I think the competition, their ABS is much more intuitive. You just stomp on the brake as hard as you fucking can, which is what the drivers say in interviews.
Yeah. And I think you can do that in this car. I just you lose just a little bit.
Yeah.
You lose that car length or whatever, which you need to be able to overtake people and defend. Oh, I'm losing the rear end now.
Wall.
That's a car. Somebody else crashed at the top of Moulin Rouge.
But you lose it. Second, 3,
third.
all the way.
Yeah.
With using that shadow when it gets overcast. Probably going a second there.
Third. Some subtle weight shifting to get right.
Yeah. It's not something you can just slow down, get your braking done early and accelerate through the apex. It's
no. Fucking hell.
You got a slow car on the left. Go right.
You should try second there. Fuck off, another off track. Some corners of the off tracks are way too harsh.
You just gotta learn to drive to the track limits.
Yes, but what would naturally be a line through the corner? IRL.
IRL.
You sort of get penalised for. You know, I understand when you put four wheels over the white line, but when it's not.
Yeah, but there's a line, and if you put the midpoint of your car over that, then that's off track, and everyone knows that. And
you're just talking about iRacing. I'm telling you, it's not a natural off track.
I do find it funny how people think iRacing is so harsh about it though, and they're not. It's just people put so much weight on like one little X. They think, oh my god, iRacing's penalising me for doing something that's almost nothing. It's like, one X on its own is worth almost nothing as well. Like it's not.
I don't think
very
so.
hard.
I think it's in our interpretation of what it is that we've got, right? It's supposed to be a simulation, and there's a lot of things that, you know, people whinge about and go, but it's a simulation. You're simulating it, and then on the flip side, they turn around and go something that's totally not against the simulation train of thought. And then I get you have to balance a sim trying to manage off tracks because there's no live marshal and stuff. But some tracks they get perfect, or corners, you think that's perfect, that makes sense to be an off track where it is. Some corners you go, wow, I got away with that, that should have been an off track. There's other corners that you take and it feels like, what was it, that Pommy track, like it was round 2 or 3 of AMF, It was one.
Donington?
No, that was round 1. It was like 2.
Oh, Ulster Park?
Yeah, I think it might have been
Fuck
Alton.
me.
And it was just a corner, and it just felt like if the outside wheel went over the white line, it just felt really foreign and anti-intuitive about where the edge of your car is, because you naturally, virtually, know where the edge of your car is, right? You know where your tyres are, and you put them in a place, and you race cars at different tracks, and you train your brain to not get off tracks by not putting too much of your wheels over the line. And then there's just certain corners that iRacing, I reckon, have overcooked it, and it doesn't gel with what you've learnt about the sim, the edge of the car, where you get penalised.
I think it must be, maybe this is why I don't find it so problematic by a lot of people. It must be the way you think about it, because you're clearly thinking about it as like your wheels. But like, from when I've started playing iRacing, I knew that it was the center of mass of the car is the point that goes over a certain line and it's an off track. So when I'm driving, I'm not thinking about where my wheels are, I'm thinking about where the center of my car is.
You have to think about where your wheels are.
No, it's just the center of the car.
Yeah, but so you don't hit walls and stuff, right? You naturally learn.
For that. Yeah,
But
like,
for everything, right? You have to learn where that is. So what's that last fast left-hander?
Blanchard.
Yeah, like it feels like you can put 3/4 of your car over that line.
Use the curb. You can have the center of your car on that curb.
And others do a similar thing, a similar line, and it's not.
Again, it's just the difference between the wheel and not wheel. Like the off track is the edge of the curb, and some curbs are wider than other curbs. So as long as you're not letting the center of your car go off the outside of the curb, you're fine. And in some places that means that you're like really far off because you fit the whole car on the curb, and other places the curb is only like a tire width, so you can't go very far off. But I feel like because I'm always thinking about the center of the car and the edge of the curb, it doesn't feel unnatural. It's like, okay, I'm just not putting the center of my car off the edge of the curb. But if you're thinking in terms of your tires, your wheels, then
You think
it changes from corner to corner.
Yes. Do you think the corner with no name is the center of the car off the ripple strip?
Yep.
Feel that what? It feels a lot thinner than that.
Yeah, it's the center of your car going past the red and white curbing. That's the limit. And maybe because I'm in VR, I've got a better sense of sort of like the center of the car as opposed to the wheels or something. But now that you've been talking like that, it makes me think that that's probably the big difference between people who are like, this is so hard, I can't get it, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Versus me, who's like, I don't know, like, to me, Spa has got corners that suck you into pushing too hard and getting off tracks, but I've never gone like, that
sure.
was like wrong. It's just like, no, I just pushed too hard and I ran too wide. I know exactly where the off track is, and I know that I'm going to get it before I get it because I've pushed too hard.
I think that's what it is. It's where you think. So you, not counting where you push too hard. I mean, I've got no issues with that. But it's where you almost calculate that you've got, okay, I'll get 9/10 every lap, and then ooh, that was 10/10 full. Lucky I've got what off track.
Yeah.
Just despair. Maybe it's because I'm on the left-hand side of the car, and it feels like the center is still on, but on a right-hand corner that's not the case, being a left-hand drive. I don't know. Maybe there's just not that sense of center. I have to look at my off tracks now.
But then I also see, even beyond all that, people complain, I find, that like, oh, it's so harsh. Like, real drivers go off here and they just, they don't even get any warning or anything. But like, in real life, they do it 3 times and they get a fucking drive-through. Like,
and it does depend on the class as well.
Yeah.
So
It depends on the class, the series, the particular year, who decided the track limits for that year.
well, look at the difference between NASCAR, right? NASCAR, if it's sealed, knock yourself out. F1, you know, they go through and have driver medics and say it's the white line, it's the painted ripple strip, it's whatever it is. It's class to class.
And I actually remember listening to a real driver, I don't remember who, talking about like how people in iRacing think it's so harsh, but he was like, and in terms of safety rating as well, not just in terms of like penalties or whatever. And he was like, you know, if you're in a GT series and you run, you know, wide a few times a particular corner, like they take notice, and that affects your race license, just like it does in iRacing. Like I think the iRacing safety and license system is probably more similar to some real life license systems than a lot of people think.
It's not talked about in telecasts, so they don't know about it.
Yeah, and he was saying, yeah, if you like, I think his example was fucking what is it? one of the British tracks, where there's a section where like you run off and you basically put your whole car on this like concrete off the track, and it's fine in most series and stuff, but if you go just a little bit too, there's like some point where they think if you did that a bunch of times in a race, then you might like lose the ability to come back and do the race again. Just like, you know, losing your license in iRacing. And obviously, again, different series have different things. I don't like, you know, running too wide and getting a slowdown in F1 doesn't affect your super license, so you know, it's not necessarily the same there.
I know, it's an imperfect world. It's frustrating, and you need to vent. Like when you go off track to avoid an accident.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah, it's annoying, and people need to vent. And I think there's a difference between venting and genuine complaining and saying this is fucked. You got to change it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it sucks. There's no way around it without live stewards. Computer's not going to know the reason why you went off track. But man, does it fucking suck when you avoid an accident and get a slowdown and lose umpteen positions from it. It's fucking hard to cop.
Yeah.
I think I've almost done one tank.
It definitely took me a while, because I think when you first start iRacing, you know, everything's about safety rating, because you want to progress in your license so you can race other cars. So you sort of learn that at all costs don't get instant points. Yeah. And then you get to the point where someone's crashing in front of you, and your options are like try and stay on track and get through the mess and take the risk, or just drive off the track and take the off track. And I found it so hard mentally to just drive off track and take the 1X, because everything iRacing had taught me is don't get off track points. And yeah, it took me a while, I think, like well past getting an A license before I started genuinely just intentionally driving off track to get around crashes. And
so I'd had way too much sim racing before that. iRacing and the same iRacing, that's all foreign. So avoiding a crash was natural for me, because I've been doing it in sim racing for a long time. Then I'd go, oh, what? That's fucked. Doing a bit better now that the fuel's coming off. Still can't take this first sector at all. After this tank of fuel, I might get yours set. I've got 12 litres left.
That's only maybe only 2 laps. It's 4.5 litres a lap.
Yeah, I might just come in now. I've lost it at the poo. I was starting to go faster, and the green sectors are coming up. I started to push a bit more and gone around. really do feel like I got to learn how to make this go fast, how it ticks. What makes this thing tick?
I think if they just brought in some sort of trigger for yellow flag, full course yellows, safety cars, then that might help. Because if it comes up saying like safety car and there's a massive crash happening up ahead, and you know that like you're going to be in that position regardless of what you do, slow down, whatever, then people can start just backing off and being like, I don't need to fucking try and rush through this incident. I don't need to like drive off track. I can just take it easy. I think that would help.
I don't think anyone would do anything. You give people way too much credit.
I mean, I think if they introduced full course yellows tomorrow, it wouldn't instantly be better. But as people learn how to deal with them, and people learned that they didn't need to YOLO it through a fucking crash, then I think it would help. Because you're not looking to get an advantage. You're not looking to.
People are always looking to get an advantage.
Yeah, but once it triggers yellow flag, it means that the restart you're going to be in the position you're currently in now. Then how can you take advantage of that? Like, you can't rush to gain anything.
Again, I think you're giving people way too much credit. There are just people that we race with on this service that are fucking retarded.
Are you ready for the setup?
Yeah.
I'll just bin it a rouge. Ooh.
Setup identical to Spa race. Lambo. 4 degrees downforce it.
Call this B3. It's 4 B3. Share with Warwick.
Well, like car racing has given a few more setups now. It's not compete, but at least give the general population better options, so they don't have to pay for.
Yeah, I think they've really started to hear a lot of people complaining that, you know, you have to pay for a setup service to be competitive, and that sucks because most other racing sims, it's not like that. Like I saw a comment at one point of like, you know, ACC have a safe setup and an aggressive setup. If you're giving people setups, you don't just have to give them the safe version. You can give them something fast and let them try it.
And understand the difference between the two. A starting point.
Yeah.
When you get a new car, no idea how to make it work.
Yeah, because iRacing baselines have always been safe, which I guess is everybody could drive this, so this is what we'll give everyone. But when you do that, then everyone's at a disadvantage compared to those who get one. So I think they've been taking the criticism seriously because they seem to have put a lot of effort. I think they're hiring people who have been doing setups to build setups for them, which is good. And like this setup, I've made a few little tweaks, but I think this is actually quite a competitive setup just out of the gate, which is definitely different to before.
Yes, a heap different. When some of them are more than the service, surely that's taken money out of your customer's budget, right? So as a customer, which we obviously are, you know, if we're spending as much on VRS as we are on iRacing, you know, potentially
buy less cars and tracks.
Exactly, right? So if you sort of put money back in the customer's pocket, they might spend it on cars and tracks. Absolutely. So I certainly think it's in their best interest.
Yeah.
All right.
And I was reading the forum post about the setups and noticed a thing where it said, there's some notes as well. And I went to the notes and they said, there's notes about how to adjust the setup to make certain changes. But I went and looked at the notes, and there's a fair chunk of this in there. But ultimately, their thing is, if you want to change the balance, the easiest way to do it is aero, and that's pretty much the only advice it gives. So, it does say, like, this medium downforce one, it says using Spa as the test track. So this is, and it's got a few examples. It's like, this is built for tracks like Spa and I think Watkins Glen, and I think I had a few examples of like, this is where you might use this setup. And the low downforce one is like, it was built at I think Monza's one of the examples. It was built somewhere else though. I can't remember which track they said they built it at.
Can't be Le Mans.
No, I don't know. But yeah, it was like, you know, this is tracks like Monza and whatever the other one was. So it's good. It's like you can grab a setup and be like, all right, I think I know which one I can use. And they do actually seem pretty good. And then in some series, like in the F1 series, they actually have a setup for every single track of the season. Which I think stems from the fact that the aero is so important and you kind of have to have the aero tuned for the exact track, otherwise somebody who does have that will win.
Every time. The gearing seems different. Being in.
I don't think it is. Pretty sure there's only like 2 gearing options for this car.
Oh, no. I mean, I got an off track. I lost a bunch of time there.
I turned it a little bit too late and got off track.
It's too early to be doing off track.
Yeah.
Purple sector. That's too deep, too deep. Too deep, too deep.
Held it together well.
Yeah.
I saw the black marks on the ground though as you were sliding.
Just coming back from, you know, a light load, just the brain's too slow to adjust back to a heavier. Oh, that's too, oh, got away with that. See, I don't. Oh, that's too deep. Fuck, that's too deep. Too deep. Okay then.
Look at that.
164.
Oh, gear. Yeah, it feels okay. That was it. Shame I fucked up turn 1 because that was the right line.
You know when you get it right, there's just less scrubbing, there's less instability, it just feels easy when you get it right.
Just hug that curb exactly the way I intend to do it every lap, but that was too much, not enough. That was good. started leaning in the cockpit now. Well, power on.
I think I touched the grass on the inside of the curb. The car just went.
You're back to the pitch, hit a wall.
Yeah, touched the dirt on the inside of the curb. I couldn't gather it back up.
Oh. Rush curb. That only cost me a second.
2 minutes, 19.499. You got it, slow car on the right.
This feels so much nicer. Third, I go too wide in that second part, the left-hander.
Yeah, I try and only go to about mid or maybe 2/3 of the way across the track so that you can get back to the left-hand side without really compromising it. Oh, fuck.
Oh, off-track avoiding an accident. God damn it.
I'm sure it was. I think I need to just chill out on my corner entries just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm still...
Focus more on my exits.
This one I've been sliding on the exit, which you just can't do in the VRS set.
There's a little bit of room to increase the diff preload as well if you want a bit more turn on throttle, which I've kind of been thinking about whether I want to do. But that also tightens it up on entry,
Which could be alright if you're going to attack it the way you are.
Yeah.
You're losing it on entry.
But one thing that kind of bugs me is like the preload's already set fairly high. Increasing it will put it near maximum. And if this is sort of, you know, kind of a baseline set up in our life and I go to another track where I want even more, it's like already at max.
Learn to do shocks. They've only got just dampening and
Rebound.
Yeah, they don't have the was it slow and quick?
Yeah. I reckon that's what we were talking about the other night with like the simplification of the setup. They probably are trying to make it easier.
You don't. That's not what they allow in this particular car, though. Because I think that makes it more difficult. You want one for bumps and one for weight transfer. I think that's pretty fucking good.
It could just be the shocks that exist in this car in real life. I don't know. But I think they're all the same now. I think all the cars have the same settings.
I can switch direction around that area.
I can get it to change direction, but I have a problem where like it sort of snaps as it changes, and then I can lose the rear if I'm being too aggressive.
Focus. 15 minutes. Right. That'll see this tank out well and truly. It's much more intuitive and nicer through there. I can just lift less. Uh-oh. Even just staring off into space, I was going faster than I was in the other other set.
Yeah, I just didn't like that VRS set. I don't think it's that good. It's obviously good for that guy's.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, I think what I was doing at the time was like, alright, I'm gonna go try like the baseline and try. Well, not baseline, that this sort of like iRacing provided one, and be like, see what that's like, and then see if I can find some sort of compromise. And then I drove this up and was like, it's not bad. Like if I think the balance was a little bit too rearward, and I was like, if I could just drop the rear wing, I might have like something that's pretty good.
See, I tried to do that at Long Beach. I sort of did, but then went back to baseline, and the baseline was still just as good and easy and fast. So I'm like, well, fuck goes that. I did change it actually at Brazil. Rotates much nicer for those slower corners.
Glad you like it.
Oh yeah, I'll give you that.
Slipstream lap.
Yeah. Couple minutes to go.
Just a little bit slower than the other guy.
Really rotate there though.
Yeah,
that's a tough corner.
Yeah, I find that one really hard. I can get it right. It's just difficult.
Too much curve.
The guy on the forums went on and said, I think the steering rack in this car is S01. Oh, okay, yeah. And so I googled that guy, and he did like multiple series in real life in these cars. So I was like, I think he fucking knows.
Well, he just no, slid right in the middle. Well, one of the first replies was, "We've been in touch." So everyone in the thread didn't, get on the bandwagon. It's like, yeah, we've reached out. Relax.
Yeah. But I did see one reply of someone being like, "Oh, how do you know?" or whatever.
I'm pretty sure he qualified it before he even started it.
Yeah, but like I think all he said was, "I've driven this car," but maybe that's somebody who just paid for 4 laps or something in one of the cars, or maybe he actually drives the car. And I think whoever responded obviously just took it as like, "Oh, sure, but what do you know?" Like there's heaps of people in the service who'd be like, "I don't care what you say you've done, I know better."
Yeah, me in my lounge room, I've raced this car in
ACC, and it's fine.
I was trying to think of the what's the fucking PlayStation game, Gran Turismo. I've raced this Gran Turismo. Or Microsoft one.
Yeah.
Forza, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool seeing that. Like, I went on the guy's website. It seems like maybe he hasn't been racing for a few years, so maybe he didn't quite make it. But
Still.
but like he a few years ago when he was racing these cars, it seemed like he was getting decent results.
No budget, maybe.
It's like someone with that level of experience and stuff taking the time to fucking get on there and be like, hey, this is wrong.
And that's exactly how it should be, you know. It was a constructive post. Said, hey, look, guys, I race these cars. I've got genuine feedback I'd like to give to you, and the stuff is fine. But they literally said, yep, okay, we've reached out.
There seems to be a lot more staff replying than there used to be. Like even my post, like a post just being like, I think the bot's not right.
It's healthy. That interaction is healthy for the community. It really is. If they haven't learned anything over the social media boom with, you know, customer interaction and forums, you've got one. Fuck's sake, get in there. You know what? Because if you give your customers information, they'll become your biggest advocates, right?
Yeah.
Like, you might reach out and say one thing once, but once it's in the forums and some other idiot 2 years from now answers it, you'll find someone else who's been around the forum go, look, dickhead, this is how it is, and here's a link to the post from the staff member. Now fuck off.
Yeah.
They will become your biggest advocate, but if you don't put that information out there, then you're just going to have a mountain of people getting on your fucking front door with your pitchforks.
So I replied again to that bot post, and I kind of, because a few people were like, oh, it's just because, you know, the people driving the Audi are fastest, and I kind of shared some of the VRS. Like, I looked at all the VRS times, and it kind of like, the VRS times seem to reflect the race results. And that's not definitive, but
No, but at least
I just thought put that as like, here's another data point. Like, it seems like there is something here, but then at the bottom I was like, I just quoted the staff member saying, "Oh, we're keeping an eye on it," and I was like, "Cool, that's all I can ask for. Good to know."
You know, and more eyes are better than one, right? So if that staff member puts that constructive spin on that, everybody walk away happy.
And I did see a post. I think there is a main post in the VRS forum about this new season and the new cars and stuff. And one of the things is, if you've got constructive bot feedback, we'd love to hear it.
It's so difficult to sift through all the fucking shit just to find genuine fucking feedback. That's right. You go in and you show. If you go and say the bot's shit, well, I don't think the bot's right because of these reasons. People are going to take you serious. Well, the staff will take you seriously. It's good. Scored. Too deep. Just lost all that time.
And I've seen a few like staff names I haven't seen before, and I think maybe they've told, like, you know, the people who are in charge of each of these things, you know, the guy who's in charge of GT3 series or whatever, they've said, you know, you guys should go on the forums and just, you know, look at your own forum and be the representative for the series that you are the engineer for.
Yep, absolutely. That should have been there fucking years ago, but yeah, they're getting there.
Yeah. And part of it is probably also giving them, you know, time of day, being like, all right, well, you've got a fucking an hour a day where you just go on the forums in your work day and, you know, reply to anything that needs replying to.
Yeah, they have KPIs for some sort of engagement.
Just making time for it rather than being like, you just need to build the new car and that's it. That's your only priority. Because I've had that at places I've worked where they say like, oh, you know, sure, you absolutely, you know, have the ability to spend some time, you know, learning or doing some sort of, you know, non-purely productive task. But then at the end of the day, all of the sort of metrics and all of the things people look at is just the purely productive stuff. So it doesn't matter how much they say. Feel free to, you know, learn and expand your own sort of knowledge and gain new skills. If they're not actually
measurable,
using that as like a measurable thing of like, yes, I've been productive today, just not on the specific ticket that you're looking at.
Yeah, Yeah, I've seen some of the relationship guys have to make X amount of calls and X, but they're sales, so. Ooh, closer. No. I never lost control. I was always wrong. That's definitely not my smoke that you're going through now. Just pulled over and waited for you, that's all.
It's just a quick donut break.
Just waiting on the side of the track for you, that's all. Nothing more.
At the last F1 race at Abu Dhabi, I saw there was a clip I saw recently from a few years ago, I think, where I think Romain Grosjean asked the team, like, am I allowed to do burnouts? And his team said no, and he just pulled over at the corner that he was at and did like a burnout and then kept going. He just fucking did it anyway. And
this year, right?
No, this was a few years ago. And then this year, on that last race at Abu Dhabi, they cut to Kevin Magnussen, and he was doing a burnout at that exact same corner. I think that was a little tribute from him.
Okay, yeah.
I was like, that's cool. That's a subtle little thing. And he just went and did a burnout at the same corner that Romain did.
That is nice, actually.
31.177.
Oh, come on.
We've got this lap and one more.
So don't fuck this up.
Yep.
Oh, fuck, got in that gutter. Oh, no, that's what's gone.
Oh fuck. Oh no.
That's more.
Yeah, that was a little hard.
How much of that was the dirt? Because you went through someone's dirt there.
I don't know. I wasn't taking it easy. I was definitely trying to be at the limit. Oh, it could have been the dirt. There was a whole bunch of dirt there, and that is right where I lost it.
Yeah, because I could see. And when you are on the limit, that just could be the difference between
Yeah.
the grip.
Yeah, maybe it was.
Alright, okay. Gonna do one more lap. Do that. Right, last lap.
I'll just get to sit back and watch the fastest lap of the session.
2 minutes, 22.917.
So much wheel spin. you can put the mockers on me, are you?
What?
Mockers. Oh my god.
What's that?
So young.
Some of these camera angles are actually really cool. I think they might have updated the Spark camera angles. This is different. What off track?
Oh, it's too wide. Fuck. Fuck's sake.
Might as well get all the off tracks.
Can you believe I broke early thinking that I'd need it? Oh, I cannot believe I fucked that up. I can't believe I fucked that up.
This is over. Head on in.
Oh, fastest lap, you did get it.
Man.
At what cost?
So it just goes to show what's in an off-track lap though if you don't bother about limits. And I made a heap of mistakes. There.
Push wide if you just run wide at No Name, if you run wide at Blanchimont, if you use all the rest of the tracks, you get a tenth at each one.
Easily, if not more sometimes. If you get the run right, you know, you get a much better run down some of these straights. Just can't get this in turn most that time.
Well, seems like you were struggling for ages on a setup that just wasn't any good.
Yeah, it's rubbish. It's going to be quite tough to sort of maintain that one though.
Maintain what?
Keep it working.
Oh, the setup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, hopefully it's just a small tweaks at different tracks. Maybe just change the diff if it's not rotating quite right, or similar track with just slightly different corners, or
Yeah, much easier to go fast. Straight away. Have a look at the average lap times. I have to check my laps. First lap, cold lap, which is the one I struggled with. I couldn't even push until lap 3. And then with the tweaked iRacing one, pretty much first lap, and it wasn't even tidy. I was able to go quicker, straight off.
yeah, I think there's definitely time to be had in a setup that's not as absolutely fast in a perfect lap, but it's just easier to, you know, if you can drive it at 98% without crashing, that's faster than a setup that's quicker at 100% that you can only drive at 92.
But I wasn't able to get. It's not like we just nailed that one lap, and hey, it is quicker, but it's just inconsistent. I just couldn't get it. It's tweaked so much for this one guy's driving style, where some of the others have been fairly communal, I guess.
Yeah. Well, the F1 setups I used all last season were fantastic. Like, I never even made a single change to those, and I was competitive, like really competitive.
The GTE one's
Maybe they
pretty-
just suited me, but I think they were just good setups.
Depends who's doing it though as well.
Hmm.
Maybe they're very max related, aren't they? I feel like Albon using the VRS one. Like,
Yeah.
this guy can go faster than it. You should too. Like,
Yeah, that's how
No.
it feels to me. It's like it doesn't matter what I do, I just lose the car, and I'm not even going fast yet. Like,
Yeah.
it's like
it's certainly a style. Where are we? We're
and
still
like
weak
with this
now.
setup, I lowered the rear ride height a bit from the default, and I expected, like, I was just playing with the setups, and I feel like one thing I do is I try and only make tweaks that I think are going to make it better, and I feel like I need to start just making tweaks for the sake of it to see what happens. So I thought,
Yeah.
I'm going to lower the rear ride height, see if it makes it safer, maybe a bit slower, and then I'll see if I can make it faster again after that if it feels good. And I lowered the rear ride height, and I just went quicker. Like, it didn't like slow me down, but it made the car feel better.